So before we have the day's business news, let's cross borders, as I didn't mention, and focus on Zimbabwe, where the Movement for Democratic Change, their opposition party, is preparing a coalition to force the Election Commission to release results from Monday's national ballot. The opposition party says some election results that were supposed to be posted outside voting stations are available, even as both the ruling party ZANU-PF and the opposition claiming victory as vote counting continues.
A day after Zimbabweans cast their votes in a process closely watched by the international monitors, the opposition party, Zimbabwe Movement for Democratic Change, is already claiming victory even as counting of the votes continues in that country. His main opposition leader, Nelson Chamisa, took to Twitter to declare that election results from more than 10,000 polling stations showed his party had done exceedingly well. The sitting president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, who had been viewed as the front-runner, also took to Twitter to say information from their representatives on the ground was extremely positive. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, however, says it will release the final tallying within 5 days. But the opposition party, MDC, says it is preparing to file an application at the court to force the Election Commission to release results from Monday's national ballot, arguing that some election results that were supposed to be posted outside voting stations were not available.
And we would like to assure the Zimbabwean people that we as the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission will not subvert their will. Whatever it is that comes out in our results is exactly what they decided to vote.
Zimbabwean Election Observer Group has also raised concern about the independence of the country's election commission in the run-up to the vote. The group has noted that the election was handled better than in previous years. Brenda Zeda Radido, KTN News.
Let's now focus on business. Kenya's economy is expected to grow by 6.2% in 2018 thanks to an increase in exports and a rebound in the agricultural sector. CBK Governor Dr. Njoroge says the economic fundamentals are gradually falling in place. Njoroge have expressed fears of continued uptake of loans, with banks still shying away from lending to SMEs.
The most recent numbers actually are the Q1 data, actual data, and showed a growth rate of 5.7%, largely supported by a strong recovery in agriculture and resilience in the services sector. What is clear is that there is a very strong positive sentiment that has been sustained. We talked about it the last 3 meetings actually, and I think this has been confirmed first by the market perception survey, which shows the optimism has been sustained. Also, in particular, we see significant optimism in a few key sectors: manufacturing, tourism, and transportation.
Deputy President William Ruto has urged manufacturers and traders to take advantage of strategies unveiled in the country's trade policy to grow export trade in the region. This emerged at the ongoing Kenya Trade Week, where the Deputy President rallied players in the industry to target projects aligned to the government's Big Four agenda.
Indeed, the strategy requires us to pay keener attention to the development of export markets and products, to and to the quality of our supply chains. These should be responsive to bilateral, regional, and international market opportunities to ensure direct links to destinations markets.
Exports have been dwindling over the years, and even where we have improved on export is marginal improvement, marginal. And indeed, traditional exports.
So we only hear of people hiring cars while on expedition in the coastal region of Kenya. However, one lady tourist from Spain has surprised many for her love for tuk-tuks, where she hires and drives herself. Tobias Chanji spoke to Mika Kompan in our first episode of Adventures Diary and filed the following story.
As you cascade the streets of Diani in Kwale County, you will never fail to spot tuk-tuks at an interval of 2 seconds, meaning they have become part and parcel of life here. They are cheap and convenient, leave alone they are noisy and high affinity to accidents. But to some foreigners, tuk-tuks have brought such an attraction. One of these tourists is Mika Company from Spain, whose love for Kenya has led to an affection with tuk-tuks.
And I'm here right now on holidays. It's my 3rd time in Kenya.
She's a quick learner, and that's why when she saw one, she grabbed the opportunity to learn how to ride. This was from her Kenyan friend.
I have a friend who has a tuk-tuk here. Then I just asked if I can drive it because I like tuk-tuks, and he taught me how to drive it.
I had the experience of riding the piki-piki, but Mika also had the experience, but not on the Kenyan road. But on the first time when I explained to her about the driving rules on Kenya, keeping left, she's a very fast learner. She adapted to it, and she started carrying me on the road. Immediately I taught her. Then it happened the second day on our day with the hard piki-piki. The owner of the piki-piki had his own personal use. So he had to change our piki-piki with the tuk-tuk. I have never, personally, I've never driven a tuk-tuk. It was a first experience. So the owner taught me how to ride the tuk-tuk. I'm also a fast learner. I learned how to drive it. And second, I had to pass the knowledge.
They say the transport money was taking a toll on them, and the only way to save for adventure was to go the hiring way.
I was here last year working in an orphanage, and I met a lot of people, and I just come here to meet my friends, and yeah, and having fun with them.
And all through when we've been these sides, we've been spending a lot of money on transport. Catering the tuk-tuk was much expensive on our transport.
As we made several trips here on the Diani Highway, Mika narrated on how she wanted to do similar excursions as locals. For Mika, it has been all about sampling what Kenya has to offer, an opportunity the country's tourism agencies can tap into.
Because I don't like the typical musungus, then it's funny to have a tuk-tuk instead of a car. A car I can have it in Spain, and we don't have a tuk-tuks in Spain.
About considering to be a tuk-tuk driver, she says she's however not planning to carry any passengers. This she does for leisure. According to Mika, the thought of riding a tuk-tuk sounds marvelous, and just maybe she might be planning to acquire one in future. Tobias Chanji, KTN News, Adventures Diary.
Tourism in Mombasa has received a major boost after a new low-cost carrier Fly Trister made its debut from Nairobi to Moi International Airport in Mombasa. The move comes at a time when receiving high numbers of tourists, both local and international. Francis Mtalaki reports from Mombasa.
It is peak season for the tourism industry. The numbers are looking good, with many of the hotel recording over 70% bookings. And more to it, the air travel is looking to cash in with the Fly Trister making its debut from Nairobi to Mombasa.
The reception is fantastic. This is the best reception we've had in a very long time. Having been a cargo company where you are received by goons and people in overalls, this is a state-of-the-art reception. We are very humbled and we're very happy.
The move has been welcomed by the tourism stakeholders in making sure that the numbers grow and being sustained from July to December.
This is just what we need to demystify the traveling by air.
Appealing for a business flight whereby people can fly from Mombasa in the morning and come back in the late afternoon. To be able to finish the work in Mombasa.
Where we are looking at the leisure travelers but also looking at the business travel. We will definitely increase our frequencies to daily to ensure that we take care of those that are coming to do business in Mombasa, lawyers, doctors, surgeons, consultants, teachers, people that are coming for assignments.
The airline has also partnered with the Standard Group in bettering their services by giving their clients a newspaper while on board.
We'll be able to offer our customers a newspaper when they get into their flights. We believe no one has done that. Our legroom in the aircraft is very massive. And of course, the 25 kgs luggage, which we don't charge.
It will give competition to the bigger players, but it will give Kenyans another opportunity to fly to the coast.
Coast region has seen air travel open up for the low-cost flight services from Ukunda in Kwale County, Malindi and Lamu being other preferred destinations.
When we look at the SGR, if you take a first-class ticket on SGR, it's 6,000 shillings. But the other expenses, the taxi and everything, runs into slightly above what a fare will give you.
Looking for business here. So there is SGR coming in, and now there is flights faster, 1 hour to get here, attractive rates. Packages are going to be done for all the hotels. So we will be able to reach out to every niche of the market.
Francis Mtalaki, KTN News, Mombasa.